I'm not exactly sure what happened in this story, but the story comes out of Detroit. It's a beautiful little girl, but I want you guys to hear her story. And hopefully at some point this can start to make sense as more of the details come out. But before we get into this, I need to give you guys a disclaimer before I say anything that might be inflammatory. So here we go. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. All right, let's talk about this. Let me get this down. Detroit and the tragic death of a 1-year-old girl, and her name, so I go ahead and tell you guys, her name is Justice Starks, Starks. Justice Starks is the 1-year-old little Detroit girl that has her father demanding answers. Detroit police say that Justice Sparks was in the care of her mother's boyfriend, or excuse me, I might have just gave y'all my theory accidentally. Let me back that up like a U-Haul truck. Detroit police say, and I'm getting this information from WXYZ.com, so thank you for the article. Detroit police say that Justice Starks was in the care of her mother's friend when she fell down some steps and later died. So I might have actually told y'all unintentionally who I believe did it. When they're saying friend, what friend are we talking about? Mom's like regular friend that was babysitting? Why do we continue to leave our children if we have to leave them with somebody? Why don't we put them in daycare? Why? Because daycare too expensive? If you can't afford expensive daycare, then you shouldn't be having kids. You got to put your kids and understand that you need to put your children around someone who is qualified, someone who can be held responsible, right? And I hate hearing all of these parents say that daycare is too expensive, so I had to do something different. Then we need to stop having kids. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to stop having kids if we can't afford to get them the proper things that they need. Okay? But they refer to mom's friend as just a friend, and they don't say what type of friend, but I think it might have been a boyfriend. But I digress for now because I could be wrong. So we'll just put that in quotation marks and we'll move on. The Detroit Police Department is investigating and says that they have some concerns that they are looking into. She should be with me right now if she was still alive, said Janarius Starks, who was the child's father. This is one of my days to have her. Starks took pride in his role as a father, and he says in his house, Justice was cared for, loved, and celebrated. She brought joy to so many people's lives. She brought so much joy to my life, says Starks. It was something I looked forward to. Let's keep going. Starks shared custody of Justice with the mom. He says the week before her death, she was with her mother and went to pick her up just before Thanksgiving. Now, that already saying that mom and dad are in separate households, more times than none, dad will end up with a girlfriend, mom will end up with a boyfriend. Now, why won't they put that information out there and specify who mom's friend is beyond me. I don't know why I don't think that would harm the integrity of this case at all. He said that she was in horrible condition. Her nose was down to the pink meat. Her knuckles had blisters. Her head had 2 knots on her head, and she was explaining to me that this was hands, mouth, and foot disease. Let me be real with Dad, and let me look into the camera and say, Dad, that's where I would have stopped right there. There would have been an investigation launched. I would have took my daughter. I would have stopped everything that I was doing, took her to the hospital immediately, And if it was some type of disease, I would have let the doctor tell me, not the mom who I'm not in a relationship with and who I'm not living under that roof. That's the way that works. And let me tell y'all, let me give a shout out to my daughter's mom, because anytime something was wrong with my daughter, guess what she did? She took her to the doctor or took her to the emergency room. If she had a cough, if she had a little bit of a slight headache, or not headache, but fever or anything, she took my daughter to that doctor to get a medical professional opinion. That would have been a problem, knowing that your daughter had knots on her head, her nose was damaged, and had blisters on her hands. That don't sound right at all. Starks says he gave Justice's mother the benefit of the doubt, but he did have concerns. A text was how Stark says he found out that his daughter fell and had a significant brain injury. Detroit police say that Justice was left in the care of a non-parent at the time, and her mother said that the injuries were accidental. Stark says that he does not know the person who was watching Justice. By the time I got to the hospital, she was covered in breathing tubes, a ventilator, and 8 IVs. Justice was later declared brain dead and passed away on December the 1st, which was about a week ago from today. The autopsy is still pending, and I'm sure we know what answer that's going to be. It's probably going to end up being blunt force trauma. I'm going to put that out there right now. Detroit police have yet to declare the child's death suspicious, but they have submitted a warrant request. Y'all catch that? They've submitted a warrant request. But why they're hiding all this information, again, I don't know why. According to Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, it's under review. She was running around on Thanksgiving and walking from person to person and sitting on my mom's lap, according to the dad. In my head, I thought I was being a good father and taking care of my daughter. We did reach out to Justice's mom, but we were only able to get in touch with the child's grandmother. She said that she was devastated and missing her grandbaby. We did not receive a response to any of the accusations. I think they're talking about the news, but let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Also, if you guys would, if y'all are watching this video, do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. It'll share this video and spread more awareness. So do me a favor, real easy. Click that thumbs up, leave a comment. How many of you guys believe that this baby was tortured, more than likely by mom's boyfriend or even girlfriend? You never know. But I think it was boyfriend.
Metro Detroit family dealing with heartbreak as they search for answers in the death of a 1-year-old girl named Justice Starks.
We've been meeting on that all morning. Our investigators are going back out. We have a number of concerns with what we've learned.
And so does the child's father. He tells Fox 2 that he shares custody with the child's mother, and he allegedly received a text from the mother informing him that when Justice was with the mother's friend, she fell down the steps and hit her head.
The child was in the care of a non-parent. What we've learned thus far is that the mom may have left the child with that person, and allegedly that's how the injuries occurred, were accidental. The investigation gives us some pause on a few issues that we're looking into.
The father of 1-year-old Justice says 2 days after being in the hospital, his little girl was declared brain dead and passed away this week. His heart is broken as he searches for answers.
We're not ready right now to declare anything because we just don't know enough, but I will say that we have a number of concerns that we're looking into. And we have a number of investigators that are combing through everything, and we'll have something, I'm very confident, by Monday.
So you guys are asking, do they have somebody in custody? The answer to that as of this moment is no, but they've submitted a warrant request. So they believe that they have evidence and they believe that they know who did it. They're just not telling us. So I'm sure that has to be for a reason, but if it's to protect the integrity of the case, then fine. I'm all about that. Just make a solid case and get whoever is responsible arrested. But I'd love to know who it is real quick. But we just have to wait a little bit.
To announce as it relates to this investigation.
In Southfield, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2.
We begin tonight with the tragic death of a 1-year-old girl as her grieving father demands answers. Good evening. Thank you for joining us here at 11. I'm Dave Llewellyn. Police say Justice Starks was in the care of her mother's friend when she supposedly fell down some steps and later died. But was it an accident or is there a crime involved? 7 Action News reporter Alex Bozarjian is digging into the case tonight and talked to the baby's father.
The child's father says they're still running tests on Justice Starks' body, trying to figure out exactly how she died and if she had injuries prior to her fall. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office says right now they're reviewing a warrant request from Detroit Police.
She'd be with me right now if she was still alive. This was one of my days to have her.
Janarius Starks took pride in his role as a father. He says in this house, Justice was cared for, loved, and celebrated.
She brought joy to so many people's lives. She brought a lot of joy to my life. It was something I look forward to.
Starks shared custody of 1-year-old Justice. He says the week before her death, she was with her mother, and he went to pick her up just before Thanksgiving.
She was just in horrible condition. Her nose was down to the pink meat. Fingers had blisters on it. Had 2 knots on her head. And she was explaining to me that this was hands, mouth, and foot disease.
Starks says he gave Justice's mother the benefit of the doubt, but he did have his concerns.
I didn't want to drop her back off that Sunday. I had her from Wednesday afternoon to Sunday night. That's the last time I seen her.
A text was how Starks found out his daughter fell and had significant brain injury. Detroit police say Justice was left in the care of a non-parent at the time, and her mother said the injuries were accidental.
About the time I got to the hospital, she was just covered in blankets.
I'm going to say this, and I know this might make the dad feel bad, but I think that he failed in not taking his daughter immediately to the hospital with knots and blisters on the hand and a messed up, banged up nose. Sorry, bro. Let me tell y'all, I'm risking everything to get my daughter medical treatment and take her to the hospital. That's not even something you have to think about, right? Y'all tell me if I'm wrong about that. I'm not trying to well, yes, I am. I am going to castigate him. He's a grown man. He can take it. And if he's a father that loved his daughter like I love my daughter, then I'm sure he can understand where I'm coming from. Brother, when I tell you, yes, you messed up, and there is absolutely no reason, whether it be work, whether it be trusting the mother, there is nothing that would have stopped me from taking my daughter to the hospital. And if anybody would have had a problem with that, took issue with that, or, oh, you don't trust my word? No, I'm not going to trust your word. Maybe I'll pick up the hospital bill. Fine. I'll take that. I don't care how much it costs. Put it in my name, but I'm taking my daughter to the effing emergency room. They're going to have to tell me it was hands, head, and foot disease, not the mom. She ain't a goddamn doctor. I know he's probably suffering. I'm sorry, but somebody had to say it, and I'd rather it be me. Not only being a black man, not only being a man, but also being a father. And I'm a little bit older than he is. So this is big brother talking to little brother.
Breathing tubes, ventilators, about 8 IVs.
Justice was later declared brain dead and passed away on December 1st. The medical examiner has yet to declare the manner of the child's death, but DPD has submitted a warrant request. According to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, it's under review.
She was running around on Thanksgiving, walking from person to person, sitting on my mom's lap, smiling.
We did try to get in contact with the child's mother, but we were only able to reach the grandmother. She says she's devastated by this and she misses her grandbaby, but did not comment on any of the accusations. In Detroit, I'm Alex Bozargian for 7 Action News.
Let me tell you who else needs to probably be held accountable, because I'm sure the mom probably knew more, and I'm probably sure that with the mom giving an excuse like this, because I'm going to tell y'all, what's going to come back from that autopsy report is probably going to end up being blunt force trauma. If I have to retract that, then I'll retract it if I'm wrong. But more times than none, I'd say 95, 97% of the time, we're usually right. When that autopsy comes back, it's going to say foul play, and it's probably going to say blunt force trauma. If that's the case, then the mom witnessed that this child had these injuries because she said, oh, it's this disease. That means you saw it and didn't do anything about it. It progressed into something else. When you left your child with this alleged friend, now your kid is dead. And I think that at some point, we need to start holding people accountable who were the custodial parents at that time if something happens to their children. So yes, I think the mom should not only face some castigation as well, maybe face some charges, but this friend was probably the boyfriend. Keep an eye on this story. We'll probably do another report, do an update. And if the dad sees this, he can email me at the afcmatters@gmail.com. I'd love to bring him on and maybe hear his side of the story, but I'm sure somebody knows more than what they're telling. But we'll keep you guys updated. We'll definitely do an update on this story. RIP to that beautiful little princess. She deserved every opportunity to grow up and become something great. So let's get her justice, and maybe another baby won't have to suffer her fate. Thank you.